Douglas the Traveling Dog, written by Mary Gorrell and illustrated by Samantha Gorrell Maloney. A long time ago, when Graham and Grandpa were young, before Grandpa became a lawyer and Graham became a professor, Grandpa brought home a surprise. This surprise fit in his coat pocket and was small, white, and furry. "What in the world?" asked Graham. "Why, he's no bigger than a guinea pig." "I know," replied Grandpa proudly. "I found him alongside the railroad tracks. He was crying and whining, probably abandoned by someone." "He's adorable," said Graham. "What should we name him?" "He looks like a slug," Grandpa explained. "Let's name him Doug the Slug." The name stuck, but was later lengthened to Douglas. And just like that, Douglas became a member of the family. Douglas was a smart and cute puppy. He was mostly white, with a brown spot over one eye, one brown ear, and a brown patch at the beginning of his tail. Like most puppies, Douglas grew quickly. His little slug body morphed into a sleek, slender frame, accentuated by very long legs. He was quite a handsome dog. As Douglas grew, he began to explore the neighborhood. Back in those days, dogs weren't kept in pens or in fenced-in yards as much as they are today. At least, our dogs weren't. And so Douglas had the freedom to check out the streets where he lived. Some days he'd be gone for long stretches, and Graham and Grandpa would worry about him. But he always came back, some would say like a bad penny. One day, after he'd been out on one of his long expeditions, Graham noticed something on the front porch that hadn't been there before. Lo and behold, it was a really nice welcome mat. It was placed right in front of the door. Maybe it was not quite symmetrical, but it had definitely been placed. The mat was made of a thick straw-like material and had the word "Welcome" written on it in bold black letters. It was a fine mat. Graham couldn't be positive, but she thought Douglas had brought this wonderful gift for her and Grandpa. A few days after the arrival of the welcome mat, Graham noticed something else new on the front porch. It was a large hunk of cheese. Graham picked it up, and aside from a few teeth marks and a little drool, it was in perfect shape. And because Graham and Grandpa didn't have much money then, she took it into the kitchen, poured boiling water on it, and served it as part of their dinner that night. The final gift was probably a more selfish acquisition. Douglas had somehow managed to find a pup tent, which he delivered once again to the front porch. It was orange and just the right size for him. Graham and Grandpa set it up in the backyard. Douglas spent many a fine sunny afternoon lounging in his very own personal hideaway. You may think that this is made up, but every part of this story is true, honestly. Thank you for listening to the story, Douglas the Traveling Dog. I hope you enjoyed it.